Hi, I'm Andrew, and today we're going to go over some exercises with a kettlebell that are going to help you with boxing. First, we're going to start off with a little warm-up, 30 seconds, just rotating those shoulders, nice and easy. It's not a bad idea for you to do 5 to 10 minutes of walking or a light jog before doing these active movements, just because kettlebell can be a little bit challenging for the body, bringing you through ballistic movements at a fast pace. So we want to make sure our muscles are warm. Great job. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring those elbows in. I'm going to have you twist and then push with that far hand as far as you can. Push as far as you can as you twist. You might feel a little stretch in the shoulder blades, in the back of the shoulder. Nice and easy. We're also getting some good rotation in that spine. Doing great. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Next up, elbows bent, elbows straight at that lower angle. Elbows bent, going back, elbows straight. We're just doing 5 here. That's 4 and 5. Let's go parallel. And you'll see my arms are crossing in the front. That's helping get a nice little stretch in the upper back muscles as well. Getting those muscles ready to move at a faster clip. Nice. I think that was 5. Sometimes when you talk and try to count at the same time, it doesn't work. That doesn't stop me from talking though. And we're at that upper angle now, as you can see. Just getting those different angles. Nice job. And I'm going to have my hands on my thighs here, just bringing my hips back and forward. I'm getting a nice little stretch in the hamstrings here. Let my hands just slide down my pants as I'm bringing the hips towards the wall behind me and then driving up. Nice job. Do this for 30 seconds or about 12 or 15 reps, whatever works for you. Now we're just trying to get that lower body warm. Doing great. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. A little bit of a balance challenge now. I'm going to grab one leg, put that down nice and easy. Other side. If you need to hold on to something, totally fine. If you need a wall or something, no problem. You'll notice that I'm dropping my hip a little bit. I'm not up here. I'm trying to let that hip drop and get a good stretch on that quad and maybe the hip flexor a little bit. It might help you to squeeze your glutes a little bit as well. You can keep going. And you want to control your weight on the way down. Nice job. Slow. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Next up, I'm going to bring that knee towards that opposite shoulder. Nice and easy. Down. We're getting the glutes here a little bit. Those external rotators of the hip. Same here. I'm trying to control my balance. We want to work our balance just as much as we want to work speed, strength, endurance. It's all important. More inside. Again, 10, 12 reps, 30 seconds. That should be more than enough. If you're still feeling a little tight in any area, feel free to do this longer. Absolutely. Great. And next up, let's add a little ballistic movement before we start working with the kettlebell. So this might be a good time to have your hand against something just so you can work with your balance. Make sure nothing's behind you so you're not going to kick anything. And we're going to do a track swing. So I'm just bringing that leg straight and keeping that knee straight as I go up, and then that knee bends as I go back. You'll see a side view here. I'm trying not to use my lower back. Try not to do that. I'm just trying to keep that in the hip. Nice. So about 30 seconds each side, or about 10 or 12 reps. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Other side. And here we go. 5. Make sure you're not going to kick anything. 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. Again, use a wall or some kind of post or something, just so you're not losing your balance and kicking the people next to you at the gym, if that's where you're at. And try again not to use that arching and flexing of the spine. All in the hip here. Getting that muscle ready to move. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. That was your first warm-up. Next up we have a kettlebell warm-up, and that's going to be Nice and easy. We're picking up our kettlebell. This one's 30 pounds. You can, start light and you can always add weight later. So with this, I'm gonna have my feet about hip width apart and I'm going around and I'm gonna stop here in front of my body. And I'm not gonna use my hand to stop that momentum. I'm gonna use my core muscles. So my core muscles are having to activate a little bit to help me stop that weight. Good, keep it going. Nice and easy. And we can perform this for 30 to 60 seconds or longer. I don't care how long you do it. Nice and easy. Now what I should be focusing on, which I haven't been doing so far, is trying to not let my body move. Don't leak any energy. Try to keep that core solid and don't rotate or flex the spine. Try to keep it solid. We get a nice little stretch in the shoulder as we're stabilizing in the core. Nice. 3, 2, and 1. Wonderful work. And next up, we're just going to do a nice and easy deadlift with that weight between the legs. So I'll show you the front version here, and I'm going to let that kettlebell go right between my feet, okay? So pretty much I'm trying to go from A to B in a nice line, all right? We're going to do this for 60 seconds in 3, 2, 1. So you're pushing those hips back and letting that kettlebell go between your shoes and back up. Kind of like the warm-up we were doing earlier, you want to let your hips kind of lead this movement. I'm going to show you a side view here. You can see that my nose isn't going too far past my knees, okay? And that's a big hip hinge. My hips are going from here all the way here, so that's a good 1.5 to 2 feet. Versus here where I'm using more of my back. I don't want to do that because it's a little more painful for the back muscles. That hip hinge allows your body to counterbalance properly and get a nice stretch. Doing great. We've got 10 seconds left. Nice and slow with that kettlebell right in the middle, going right between those shoes. And 3, 2, nice job, and 1. Great. So we did the around the world, and then we did the hip hinge there, or the deadlift, okay? Let's jump into a figure 8, just for 30 seconds. So this is gonna be a little like the hip hinge, but we have a little bit of movement with the upper body, so we're adding some coordination. I'm going to have the kettlebell go between my legs from the front, and then I'm going to bring it up to about as high as my belly button. And I can use my other hand, missed that one. I can use my other hand to stop that kettlebell. Nice and easy. So side view here, I am trying to hinge at the hip. It's a good idea not to wear baggy sweatpants or shorts, kind of like I am today. You might get your hands caught up in it, like I did. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great, you can put that down nice and easy. So doing 1 or 2 or even 3 of those sets of those exercises are going to be a great way for you to warm up. Okay, so we had either 5 or 10 minutes on the treadmill or jogging, and then we had some active movements with our shoulders, some twists, and then we had a nice little kettlebell warm-up with the around the world, the deadlift, as well as the figure 8. Now we're ready for some kettlebell exercises. What we're going to do is just one set of the following exercises, and then I'll show you how to put those together as a flow. Now, you can do more than one set. I'll show you one. Feel free to pause the video, and you can always do 2, 3 sets if you like, and then we'll go into the flow. So let's just work on our basic exercises, kind of break them up. The first one we're going to do is a clean, all right? So I'm going to start with this weight at my hips, okay? So this is a full cycle clean. So I'm going to have this in my hand, and it's going to go, and I'll show you a side view here. It's going to go between my legs, and I'm going to drive those hips up, and I'm bringing the kettlebell into this rack position. You'll see my elbow is against my body, and the kettlebell is against my forearm. This is a great place to be. I don't want to be out here. It's a lot harder on the shoulder. I want to rest here, okay? So we're just going to do 10 reps of it, the kettlebell going between the hips, me using that hip hinge, driving those hips up, and getting the kettlebell in this place. Now it looks a lot easier than it is when you first start. What happens sometimes is that kettlebell is real slow, and it hits you on the wrist. And then you have a nice bruise I call the kettlebell 30. And the reason is we're normally gripping that kettlebell too tight. One thing that might help you if you find you are doing this slow whoop is let your thumb, we'll keep your thumb in, but when the kettlebell goes in between your legs, imagine your thumb's out and it's pointing behind you, all right? So you're gonna have a little bit of internal rotation, and that will help you rotate into that nice position there. And of course you can watch me do it a few times, stop, restart the video, slow it down, just so you can make sure the form feels good. Because this clean can be a little challenging, all right? So I'm just gonna do 10 on one side here, up for 1, embrace 2, breathing out at that top position, 3. For you boxers out there, you can imagine that somebody's throwing a punch at you to the body, and you're bracing. 6, talking and counting again. 7, nice. 8, 9, good, show you side view. 10, all right? And we're gonna switch sides, okay? One way I'd like you to learn how to switch sides is you're gonna swing, switch up here, swing, and then clean into position, okay? Now we'll go over that a little bit more later. So I'm gonna go between the legs, 1, and 2, and 3, breathing out, and 4, side view, let those hips hinge, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I want you to get really comfortable with that exercise. The clean is super important for just general power and using those external rotators, making sure your body works together, but also when you're boxing, you know, if somebody's throwing a hook at you, pop, getting that up to protect yourself. You're working some of those similar muscles. Next up, we're going into a push press. So I'm going to start with this weight right here in that clean position, that rack position we've already worked on. Now from here, I'm using my legs a little bit. See my knees there? I'm going to bend my knees just a little bit. I'm going to push up as if I'm trying to punch the ceiling and down nice and slow. This isn't a normal, isolated, slow 2, 3, 4, down 2, 3, 4. We're using that momentum from the legs to push that weight up, okay? And at that top position, my palm can be facing in or it can be facing forward. All right, so I might be in or forward, right? So let's do 10 of these together and then we'll swing and switch. All right, here we go. Feet are about hip width apart. 1, and I'm breathing out. And I'm bracing for that second, holding just for that second. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. I'm going to swing and switch to that top position, swing and clean, which we've worked on already. All right, so let's push that other side. Push, press. Here we go. I want this fast. How fast can you punch it up? Great job. And you can put that weight down nice and easy. And that's a great place to start with the clean and the push press, okay? This next exercise I'm going to show you is a little more challenging. So only do this if you're feeling really comfortable with your cleans. And I would suggest using a real light weight when you start with this, just so you can get used to the movement, okay? So this is a pendulum swing. So what I'm going to do is start with that weight in that clean position, that rack position we've already done. And I'm going to punch it across my body internally. It's going to swing. And then I'm going to pull it back into that rack position. So I'm going to punch, swing, pull. Okay, now if you'll notice, I am making my eyes and my body follow that kettlebell the whole time. It really gets dangerous if you swing and you stay forward and then you try to pull it back in, because this is the danger zone. We don't want that. Okay, so follow your eyes and your chest with the kettlebell the whole time. We're just going to do 5 of these right now because it's a little more challenging of an exercise, and I don't want you to do so many that you go to failure earlier and you put yourself in danger. Okay? So just 5. I'm going to get that kettlebell. I'll swing it from that full clean position. You can see my elbows against my body, my kettlebells against my forearm, and I'm going to punch it across my body, swing, and pull it back in. Let's do 5 of those. And 2. Punch, swing, and pull. Punch, swing, and pull. And punch, swing, and pull. Now I'm going to switch sides by swinging and switching, swinging and cleaning, starting here, and we're going to punch, swing, and pull. Punch, swing, pull. Following your head and your chest. I think that's 3. And 4. And 5. Then you can put it down nice and easy. Right? So I did that at a kind of slower speed. If you really punch it out and increase that speed, that exercise gets a lot more challenging. Okay? So we just broke up 3 exercises and did them individually. Now we're going to put those together in a 2 or 3 minute flow. I'm just going to start with 2 minutes. And a lot of people when they start boxing are doing 2-minute rounds. So this is a great way to condition your body to do some ballistic movements like you do in a boxing ring for 2 minutes. Okay? If you want to do 3 minutes, feel free. Okay? So we're going to do the first exercise, the clean, and get to that rack position. And then we're going to do the push press and bring that kettlebell back to the rack position. And then we're going to do the pendulum with the push, swing, pull, and then we'll switch the kettlebell to the opposite side in that clean position, and we'll do all those exercises again. So let's get 2 minutes on the clock. And if you don't have a stopwatch or something, your phone doesn't have a stopwatch or you don't have one, that's fine. You can just decide to do a certain amount of reps. How many reps? I don't know. Watch this video, see how many reps I do, and then you can do about that many. Feel free to stop and start as you need, especially if you're starting to feel a little uncomfortable or your muscles feel like they're getting too fatigued. You don't want to work through failure on this just because there's a lot going on in the body and that kettlebell is flying around. So be safe and be aware of how your body is feeling. Okay, here we go. And 5, 4, 3, getting it up to the hip, full cycle clean. Here we go. And we're cleaning, we're push pressing, we're punching, swinging, and pulling. Swing and switch, swing back to that clean position, punch it up, back to the rack position, and punch, swing, pull. Keep it going. Yes. Using that hip hinge. Clean it. Nice and strong there. Nice and strong there. Punch. Bring it back in. I like to imagine every time I clean, it's like somebody's punching me. And I'm bracing for it. Keep it going. It's kind of fun. You know, you're not doing the same thing over and over. I could have locked down on that last push press a little bit, like so, just for that second. And you are accelerating, decelerating. Got a lot of good movements going on. Using those hips, using those arms. And you can see a lot of these movements are similar to what a boxer has to do. No, we're not doing a lot of hip hinges, but we are doing a lot of punches and rotating that spine. Good job, keep it going. Let's see where I'm at here. You keep going. If you're following me, just keep going on your own, because I gotta get that stopwatch. Back up on my arm. So it's good not to have a stopwatch on your arm, have it somewhere else. 15 seconds left, kicking some butt. Keep it going. And if you stopped with me earlier, we're gonna do an extra 10 seconds. And 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I could have locked out there a little bit better. 2, and 1. I want to finish that opposite side. Just get that full wrap and put it down using good form with that hip hinge, using those knees to help you bend, and abs tight, glutes tight as you put it down. Nice work. Now I'd give you, if you're getting ready for a fight, just a minute break. If you're just doing this for general kettlebell conditioning, I would say give yourself 2 to 4 minutes of a break, because we want to let that body get, rested and back to a strong position before we go on to our next set. All right, so we can always do this again. 3 rounds would be great if you want. Amateur boxing is normally 3 rounds, so you can do 3 rounds there. I would say, if you want to just do 1 and you feel pretty good about that, that's great. We're not going for a muscle burn here like we would be if we're, lifting weights slow. We're not isolating. This is more of a nervous system workout, right? So you're not going to feel the normal muscle burn. We're bringing those muscles to a fast range of motion with the punches and the swings and things like that. So we're teaching your body how to efficiently move around a lot of weight quickly, working that power system. So it will feel different than your normal strength training. And the benefit of that is, you're not only teaching your muscle how to go slow like you are with strength training, you're teaching your muscle how to get through a movement real quick, which is important in boxing. So after you've completed your treadmill warm-up, then your active movement warm-up, and then your kettlebell warm-up, your individual exercises, 1 to 3 sets, your flow, 1 to 3 sets, then it's time to cool down. I'm not going to run you through cool down stretches or anything like that because I'm guessing you know how to do those. But you do want to do a nice amount of static stretching. Some active stretching is not a bad idea. And just getting your heart rate down in general is good. But make sure you do not skimp on your cool down because you'll be more sore the next day and potentially put yourself in risk of harm. Thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at kingfittraining@gmail.com. That's kingfittraining@gmail.com. Thanks a lot.